What am I getting myself into? I know, nitro. I said I'd never have another nitro.
What? What the fuck?
But there's some nostalgia attached to this one and this particular chassis, so I have no choice. So, first things first, it's obviously been sat quite a while, but to be fair, it doesn't look like it was sat in someone's shed. This looks like it was, in fact, as he said, sat in the loft, somehow covered up or in a box. So the only things I can see that are obviously different is it's got the 2-speed gearbox, so we've not got the cooling fan, which I kind of like the idea of having that on. It was part of it, whether it worked or not, which it probably didn't, to be fair. It was kind of cool for it to see it on there. Now, I don't think, don't quote me on this, I don't think these came with a 2-speed. I'm sure that was in, I doesn't make myself sound stupid here, I'm sure that was the Inferno GT that had the 2-speed in it. Might have to do some digging and find out that, because it's very close down there. Very close, almost like I may well have made it fit, or just hoped it would. I think first things first, obvious, new fuel lines, new air filter, rip the exhaust off, we'll make sure it's clean inside. It does feel like it's got good compression, but I think glow plug out, head off. See if, well, actually no, we'll see if we can get some bits for it first, because I'd like to keep the original motor, although that looks like it could be a later version, because that's very, very blue, and I'm sure they had a bigger head on the original and more of that colour. I don't know, we'll have to have a look into that. But other than that, I'd like to get started first. That's very close down there. Anyway, I think we'll get it closed. Get it close to running, if not running first, and then we'll strip it down. But I think new glow plug, new air filter, fuel lines, clean that out, clean the fuel tank out. Plus, it feels like it's working. Well, there's a chance it might not if it's congealed up and all crappy. But I think, yeah, we'll try and get it running first. Well, I really couldn't resist. I'll give it a little clean and have a load of it on suspension. I know, it's a rally car, but you can't deny that doesn't look good. Now, it does look like there's a bit of a gap there. So, I'm not entirely sure whether it's just because it's too low, makes it look a bit weird, or if that's how it's supposed to look. But I can't see there's any way to adjust them, but it does look good anyway. And it turns out they did do a 2-speed conversion for this, so that one in there is going to stay, even though I really want to put the fan back on. That does look good. That'd be a good standing piece like that, because I can't imagine there's many bits available for these anymore. But that's the next thing to go looking for, because there's obviously something missing at the back, isn't there? There should be a spoiler there, so I'm going to have a search for that, because I do have a 1/10 version. Yes, there we are, look. Tell me here. TE03FR, no? Hang on, wait. TE03FS, I believe it is, it's a short one. Shorter wheelbase for that body. Yes, we clearly need. Oh, I'm going to suggest that is that bottom piece there. So there should be another piece to go over the top. So I wonder if I can find that. I think that's going to be like rocking horse poop. But it would be nice to have two, wouldn't it? I wonder if I could get some of these stickers blown up to fit that. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be cool, though, it would. Anyway. So as I mentioned with this, there's been nostalgia attached to this one. I remember seeing this particular chassis, but with the Escort body, when I first started racing many moons over 2 decades ago. So that's why I quite like this, because it's one of the first big 1/8 nitro chassis, and it went bloody well considering we were racing 1/5 scale on this particular track. Forgive the bubbles, I'm just getting a bit of elbow grease in because it's minging and sticky and horrible and it's doing me head in. But this was originally mine, I believe, or me and my mate believe, probably 22 years ago. And he found it in the loft, and obviously neither of us are really into nitro anymore because we had them back in the day and they're nothing but a pain in the arse. But he very kindly offered to donate it back to me. So I've kind of a double whammy. I want it, there's nostalgia, well, it's a triple whammy, and he kind of gave it me, so I've really got no choice, have I?
Please, no! No! No!
Well, doesn't that look a lot better? That's come up amazingly clean. I mean, let's be honest, it wasn't exactly filthy, dirty before. But you know what, there's not actually a lot wrong with it. There really isn't. Don't know what to say. Not really a lot wrong, but... so anyway, we've got fuel lines on the way. Well, not on the way, I've ordered them. Fuel lines on the way. Can't find any gasket kits for this, so I'm not going to take it apart. So I've just got a glow plug, fuel line, fuel, glow starter kit, because I haven't bought one in a million years. And we'll just see if we can get it started before we actually do anything else to it. But next on the agenda is trying to get the electrics to work, see if they are still alive or not. So let's see what we can do, because I definitely haven't got anything that requires an antenna these days. Well, I have, but it's only ACOM stuff, and I've got a sneaking suspicion. That's even the original tar up look. I've got a sneaking suspicion this is going to be 40 meg of some sort underneath here. Look at the size of it. Jesus! Looking at the size of that bad boy, I might be right. Oh, it's actually not that old. That looks like the sieve you used to get with the Futuber attack kits. So that's not actually. Yeah, look at that. Proper old school. That definitely reminds me of the receiver you used to get with the old Futuber. Or Futaba, I don't know how you pronounce it, I'm completely honest. Attack kits. Attack 2, something like that. Some sort of really springs to mind. But we won't be using that. Let's see, we'll pour these through. That's the only system I've got at the moment spare. Is this. The good old FS R6X, which I use on quite a few. It's a receiver, that's just really just to see if it all does in fact work. Well, just cheap, 2-set LiPo, tiny little thing, 1100 thing. Nothing amazing, which should let me know what does and doesn't work. If I don't keep faffing about anymore. So I'm pretty sure this video is going way long enough as it is. Right, you know what, I give up. Right, we'll come through. Right then. Right, if I remember rightly, it's number 3 or 4, I think it is, for one of them. Right, I'll tell you what we'll plug in. It's not like it's going to fire itself off and go anywhere. I do believe steering's still steering. I'm sure it's channel 3 for throttle. Right, the battery is charged. Will we have any life? Will the switch even work? It would help if I put battery in, wouldn't it? Prat. Right, back off, hopefully. Oh, we have a red light. And we had twitchy moment. Well, hey! Right then, let's have a look. Right, give me a second. You can see we've got a little bit of a twitchy motion and we've got it the wrong way around, so let me just swap them around. So, well, I won't say it's the most powerful thing in the world. 3. Bit of shame. Would have been nice to have these working. Nice and quiet. Oh, so it does. Right then, so throttle does work. And to be fair, it's actually not bad. It makes brake work lock up without tearing a steering servo. No, that's not even going to work. We're looking off the ground how slow that is. So it looks like we're going to have to put, realistically, a pair of servos in it, because we can't have that risk in it going wrong if it's flat out, if it does in fact fire up, and that just doesn't do anything. So it is what it is. So that is it for part 1. I'm afraid it's not going to be overly exciting, but next one will be electronics in, trying to get it running, and we'll see if we can give it a bit of a drive round, and then we'll see if we can salvage something of the body. I did try and get what looks like leftovers of masking tape from this window, and it actually worked out very well. It came off quite well, but this body, I don't know, there's a few cracks in it back, and I'm not sure if they're just cracks from when it was used at some point, or if it's because it's gone brittle. And I am slightly scared to try and attempt to do something with the paint, but we will in fact try to do something with it at some point. Anyway, hope this wasn't too boring. See you next time.